Good morning, Superintendent Nelson, board members, HDPA teachers and staff, friends, families, and class of 2022. My name is Isabella Garcia. Before I begin, I would like to give a big, proper, and personal thanks to a few people who've helped me along my high school journey and even in my personal life. Miss Lisa Jones, who I like to call Mama Jones. Funny story, we actually made people believe that she was my mom. It started off as a joke because she gave me rides home when my car was down. A friend had noticed and asked if she was my mother, to which I did not disagree. More students started to notice, and Mama J went along with it. And to this day, there are still students who believe that she's my mom. To Miss Pickett, if it wasn't for her pushing me so much and having as much patience as she did when dealing with me, I wouldn't have made it as far as I did. Mr. Smith, y'all already know, the boss man. Love him. He's an amazing man and will work with you if you promise to work with him. So trust him, because I did, and look at where I'm standing. To my family, for all the love, To my family, for all the love, and to my best friend, Aiden. He is my anchor, and if it wasn't for him, I don't know what I'd be doing here. Okay. Much thanks is owed to many, so I'm not done. But now that I've got the good stuff out of the way, I'm going to shift my way onto a time when I truly felt as if I would never graduate from high school. Okay, kind of scary. This might get a little sensitive, but here we go. Bear with me, please. I had fallen into a bad hole that I could not get out of. My mom had passed away in my junior year, and I was in pieces. During her illness, I took care of my siblings, and when she went into the hospital, we moved and changed cities. It all happened so sudden, and I attended 3 different high schools before I came to HDPA. I had just lost a huge part of me that I will never get back, and on top of already dealing with past traumas, it seemed like I was just taking hit after hit, and I had absolutely no motivation to get up and do anything. Not even go to work, and I like making money, so that meant that school was the last thing that I was worried about. Now, I still had to come in and do my check-ins and get, I still had to come in and do my check-ins every now and then and talk to my teachers, in which I would pull bull with them and say I was getting things done when I really wasn't, because I was convinced that I'd just drop out or something eventually. I had given up. However, they did not. And by they, I mean your teachers, proctors, principal, vice principal, and office staff. They all never stopped checking up on me. And I'm sure you're probably thinking, well, yeah, dude, it's their job. Yeah, well, it is. But as a human with emotions and a soul and stuff, you can feel the sincerity and caring from these people who were beside me during my time here. They understood my situation, gave me time, and helped me make a plan to get through and graduate. I found myself changing, and I quickly started enjoying my time here. I've been to a few schools, so I can say that this was genuinely the best experience I've ever had with education and adult environment. Shout out to Mr. B, who never failed to dap a homie up when I needed it for real. When I realized how much everyone around me here cared about me graduating, coming to school and trying, it felt good. I always heard, but being here helped me understand when you put in a little effort and believe in yourself and in the people who only want what's best for you, you'll make it through. Sure enough, looks like we all did. No matter how long or how fast it took, we are all here right now. There is genuine meaning at this school. We make real-life connections with real-life people who care about us. So let's give them a big thank you. Yeah! Now, I am in no way more capable of success than any of you here with me today. Beating the stigma, hearsay reputation of the school, and not to mention all of the things you guys could have all gone through personally, all of you are so able. You graduated, regardless of what anyone has said to you. So if anyone hasn't told you or made you feel seen, I'm proud of you. Give yourselves all a big round of applause. Most of you graduating right now are in your original class. I was originally part of the class of 2021, but I finished my requirements in December of 2021. I've been out in the world without the pressures of high school for a while now, so I want you guys to really grasp and understand that there's so much more life beyond this. During this big transition into the real world, outside of all the school drama and nonsense, I want you guys to really soak up these last moments here. You made it. You can finally breathe. You're here and you're leaving. No more constant nagging from teachers or principals. Take what you've learned in these years and remember them when you're out there making decisions. Your life is at your pace even if you decide to go to college, and you are 100% responsible for yourselves. It's time to accept maturity and responsibility, but also remember to have fun and live your life. You've made it so far, and you're doing just fine. Keep going. Congratulations to the graduating class of 2022.
Thank you, Isabella. Our next speaker is Leslie Zapata from our Independent Study Program.
Hello, my name is Leslie Zapata, and I'd like to welcome Superintendent Nelson, board members, families and friends, graduating class of 2022, and thank all educators, teachers, faculty members, and most importantly, Mr. Smith, for helping me have the honor to be able to stand here today and to graduate with the class of 2022. I remember being told this throughout my entire high school experience. Life always goes on. This quote really stuck with me since the first time I've heard it. I remember being a freshman at Granite, walking the halls, not caring about grades or attendance. I was always chasing the next high, not thinking or caring how it would affect my education. I remember how immature I was, how I used to think I was all grown up because I had reached my teen years, thinking I could do anything in this world, and nobody could stop me from thinking I didn't need an education. I thought it's not important, and that every freshman thought the same way. I never went to class my freshman year. I honestly failed all my classes, and I remember not having a single care in the world because I was young, and at that time in my life, I didn't feel a need to care. But I also remember when my parents found out. They told me that my life will move forward regardless of whether or not I'm motivated. Life will always go on. Sophomore year was when I really realized how much these years will matter in the future. Not just in an educational sense, but because I'll never be this young again. I've made a lot of mistakes, especially during my sophomore year was when I've made the worst mistakes. I was getting suspended, constantly in and out of trouble, and when I was finally realizing what I had done, I was at a board meeting where the members were talking about the possibility of me being expelled. When I was sitting in that room, I really had an eye-opening experience. It had gotten to the point where because of my behavior and record at the school, the board members were considering moving me out of the district. By now, I was at HDPA, and my principal, Mr. Smith, was there with me. He told me only I can change what will happen, and only I can change my future. The school board had decided to give me a final chance at attending a real school. When I was finally able to go back to school, the pandemic had hit. And I remember my parents telling me again, life is going to go on. Because even if I was still involving myself in trouble, life is going to move forward. Even though I was sitting there feeling sorry for myself, everyone else was moving forward with their lives. And this is when I realized I had to move forward too. I couldn't stuck being trying to have fun while ruining my education. I remember this being a big motivation for me to get my act together. During this time, I had spent countless hours alone in my room, And I just remember thinking, I'm going to prove everyone wrong, because although I have a history of substance abuse, and although I have a history of being problematic, I wouldn't be that student again. I started to catch up on all the credits I would have needed for my freshman year. Keep in mind, I was already a sophomore, so I was a year behind to be exact. I was in the alt ed program at HDPA working from home because of the pandemic at the time. I caught up slowly, and then I was finally on track. Then came my junior year. I was so close to finishing that year that I had lost motivation. I knew I was doing good, and I stopped caring about school and started caring about everything else again. But as time went by, and as I had that mindset, it just showed me that as easy as it is to get motivated, it's easier to lose it. Once again, I remember, life will always go on. So if I don't start caring now, when will I start? When it's too late? Because life will go on. Regardless of my grades, it's going to go on. So I got motivated again, enrolled in independent study, and finally kept my motivation around in order for me to be able to graduate with the class of 2022 5 months earlier than I ever would have thought I would. When I was a freshman, I had just hoped to graduate. When I was a sophomore, I had hoped to even graduate on time. When I was a junior, I had hoped to finally keep my motivation until I was successful. When I was a senior, I was so motivated I graduated early. And now as a graduate, I hope for a successful life, not just for me, but for the entire graduating class. I know some students may have stories that started out just like mine. Getting in trouble, moving from not caring about school to worrying that you'll never graduate because of your current situation. But remember, the situation you may be in today does not determine how successful you'll be tomorrow. Life will always go on. Sometimes you just need a little push to move forward with it. We all got pushed by someone and by ourselves to be here today. Congratulations, class of 2022. Life is going on.